A fine evening for you all, my fellow cultured man. In this video, in this very highly cultured video, we will be tackling some of my top 5 favorite harem anime. To that end, this top 5 will be based on my opinion. And if you don't agree, let's get this discussion going in the comments section below. And what are your favorite top 5 or the harem anime that you like that I miss? Without further ado, if you do enjoy my anime takes, my anime top 5 and my Pokemon and gaming related contents, please do leave a like and subscribe, as that will be helping me a lot in the YouTube algorithm. Without further ado, let's start with number 5. Number 5, The Familiar of Zero or Zero no Tsukaima. A story about an ordinary teenage boy, Saito Hiruga, living in Japan, suddenly summoned to become a familiar or a servant for a novice mage noble named Luis in an aristocratic mage academy. I have known about this since SAO. Actually, the first time I watched this was actually the very first isekai that got me into isekai. Like, I know that isekai was first known since SAO, was first very popularized by SAO, but this was actually a series before SAO that I did fell in love for it. I actually watched SAO first, but at the time I really wasn't in about as isekai as much, but the moment I saw this anime about an adventure, it's essentially an adventure series, right? About Saito Hiruga in this unknown, fascinating world of magic and knights and sword, being summoned, having an adventure, even though he's a familiar, really having that great relationship with a lot of the characters, even having a developing relationship with his supposed master slash girlfriend slash wife in the future. Yeah, it's 12 episode, 12 to 13 episode first season, so that makes 49. Yeah, but yeah, like I said, SAO did not push me to the isekai trash dump hard enough, but this was the one who pushed me to check out a lot of the isekai in here today. And of course, it's a harem anime, a compelling protagonist that did not start off as OP as Kirito. It's actually relatively weak and had to figure out a lot of his ability. It's essentially an underdog. His superhuman magic ability, he has to figure it out, and then as it builds up until he became a master of all weapons kind of character. In fact, the writer slowly built up Saito Hiruga's ability until the climax when he fully utilized this ability. So number 5 is definitely The Familiar of Zero or Zero no Tsukaima. So definitely a story to check out on. 4. Is it wrong to try to pick up girls in a dungeon? I mean, I'm not even gonna say the full Japanese name, but otherwise known as danmachi. In an instant, Belcornell, for me, I think Belcornell is that standard isekai harem protagonist, like very bland in character and have this very much moral ideals. I mean, he's self-aware of this, but he has a very pure good kind of moral ideal, so he wants to save everyone. That for me, I feel like that for me is slowly to die off as I delve onto One Piece, where a lot of the times Luffy is in the morally gray zone in terms of idealism. But for me, he's probably one of the early anime aside from Naruto that got me into like this super heroic ideals, and the fact that he's chad enough to attract all of the other women unknowingly around him. Like, he got inspired by the power of boners towards eyes and become powerful. Like, how instead of kind of anime-esque kind of concept is that, and then unironically attract all of the other girls like Hestia, freaking freaking Freya, and a lot of girls in the Danmachi universe. So without further ado, number 4 for now is definitely easy to pick up girls in a dungeon. So without further ado, let's proceed into number 3. Imagine a world, right, overrun with zombies where the only choices are to run or fight in order to survive. What will the series protagonist Takashi Himuro do? Oh, would you look at that? Freaking animated is. That pretty much sums up the plot of High School of the Dead. I mean, 1 second in shows a serious scene like a cop shooting a student who lost his mind in TV, and in another moment, a sexy voluptuous school nurse literally tries to seduce one of her students. This show is self-aware of what it is, and without shame capitalizes and delivers it to the star. I love this. Is sadly enough, it's not gonna have a season. I doubt it's gonna have a second season, but hopefully, maybe cross the finger. But I really love this kind of anime. Like it's just so freaking raunchy. This filled with zombie, very much gore and sexy scene. I freaking love this series, my dudes, my freaking dudes. So number 3 for me would recommend, and freaking definitely a must watch. It's just a freaking 10 episode 1 season anime. So without further ado, number 3 is High School of the Dead. Now let's proceed into number 2, Hayate the Combat Butler. It is a story about Hayate that has managed to accrue a huge debt to the Yakuza due to his irresponsible parents. In true harem fashion, he runs into an heiress who then falls for him and hires him to be her butler slash bodyguards. Now, this show is such a fun watch and very charming, filled with heart-wrenching emotional moments, lovable characters, and funny moments. Definitely falls around rom-com kind of setting more than harem, but regardless, the stuff that is very emotional, heart-wrenching, it definitely is very wholesome at that, and very saddening, and definitely will make you cry. And then the funny moments will have you belly laugh. I freaking love this anime. Definitely recommend to watch it. It's only a 4 season, 102 kind of episode, so definitely a binge watchable series. Yeah, so without further ado, number 2 is Hayate the Combat Butler. Let's proceed into my very highly anticipated number 1, High School DXD. I mean, I made a whole lot of content. Like I made a power system analysis content of me discussing the power system of High School DXD, like the chess kind of organization in the peerages. Like I have at least 2 of them about sacred years and peerages. Suffice it to say, I'm a huge High School DxD fan, and High School DxD, for those of you who doesn't know, is the anime that solely is here due to my own personal bias. Of course, let's be honest here, it's my personal bias. It's the first anime, it's the first harem anime that made me into a harem fan. It made me curious about the entire genre. Not just because, of course, the main draw for all of harem is the girls, which is always the main selling point of for any harem series, even more than the protagonist. But in DxD, it's more than that. You get a lot more fun, lovable characters with a child character like the mentor Izazo, or another shoddy rival character in Syra arc, or even the edgy character in Bali, or a fun side characters that interacts with the main protagonist, Issei. Speaking of, Issei is definitely one of my favorite goofy. Like, you guys know, if you watch this channel long enough, that I love quirky, fun, loving characters. I love Rimuru Tempest. I love freaking Luffy from One Piece. And for me, Issei is falls in that kind of quirky, fun-loving character. You know, and on a daily basis, there's even a Devil King, and it's Rhys Gummer's brother. I love the cast for this show. This series just has a wide range of lovable character, and even the protagonist is quirky, like I said, fun protagonist who's self-aware and knows what he wants and knows what the show is and just shamelessly goes for it. There's also a very in-depth power system that is very similar to a shonen, to a typical shonen that I actually for the first time I watched this series I mistook it for a shonen at the first glance. I also talk about this series power system in a earlier video. Links links of those videos will be in the description of the video. To briefly summarize, this ancient treasure created by God of the Bible that gives the user unique abilities such as the main protagonist has boosted gear ability that has a dragon inside him that boosted up all of his physical attributes to a superhuman level. It has based form. It has a base form where it utilizes the most basic abilities and a more powerful form named Balance Breaker. It's very interesting power system that almost reminds me, very reminiscent to the power system of Bleach, like the Bankai and the Shikai kind of power system. So for me, I just overall love the world. The power system is definitely for me a lot of very workable things that a lot of shonen lovers will definitely fall in love with. So definitely High School DXD is top tier, very nostalgic and biased purposes. I love it. It's the very first harem anime that I've watched that made me interested in harem in the first place. I love the cast. I love the main characters, of course the girls. I love all the girls. So yo, fun watch overall. Overall, a fun watch show. Yeah, number one, definitely one of my favorite harem anime is High School DXD. So, how do you guys find my top 5? Is it very highly cultured or very base? Let me know in the comment section below, and let me know what are your top 5 harem protagonists. What are your favorite harem protagonists? Maybe I missed something. There are a shit ton of harem anime out there. And without further ado, if you do enjoy my content, I do a lot of Pokemon and anime related content in this YouTube channel. So if you are interested, please do check me out. If you do like my content here in this channel, please do leave a like and subscribe, as that will help me again in the YouTube algorithm. Now, if you mind, I'm just gonna finish my glass of wine here. Okay, bye.